Pomykacz. I'm a car guy. I love cars, right? I love muscle cars, exotic cars, racing cars, sports cars. Ever since I was a kid, love cars, love driving it. I don't drive anymore because I have a vision issue, so I don't drive anymore. But I still have a sports car in the garage, so I still keep it because I love that car. I don't want to get rid of it, and I'll give it to my son. That's what I'll do. I love photography, painting, kayaking, canoeing, swimming, go to vacation, travel to vacation homes, go to the cottage, astronomy, science, and I'm an avid reader too. Yeah, I keep on top of things, but I don't follow mainstream media. I don't watch the news. I get my news elsewhere, and be a sovereign and independent thinker. That's me. Like my parents, they came over from Europe after the war, so I had like my father, who's like my mentor. He went through the war. He was a soldier. He was a veteran. So and then I know a few other veteran soldiers too. So I get that mindset. It's very, very interesting. And I appreciate that. For everything that I went through and what I have great gratitude for that. Life was not easy, but I still have great gratitude, and that is one of the one of the enduring virtues, right? It's a virtue which I treasure. So I try to be I try to be the good guy. I don't want to cause any trouble. I'm the peacemaker, and that helps in negotiation type of thing. I was in the export business, and while I was doing that, I also dabbled into real estate. So I knew real estate investing was something of interest, and I said, okay, I'm going to give it a try. So what I did is I started out with student rentals. And from that point on, it just grew. So the export business was alongside the real estate business. And a few years ago, I transitioned to strictly real estate. 14 years now. Casabella Real Estate Investments, Inc. Like Casabella, it's kind of a Spanish hybrid of nice home. The idea being having investment properties is to have a nice place for a tenant to live and be happy there. That's the whole premise. That's the mission. Nice place for people to live.
So Peter, tell me, what's one unique strategy that you have that differentiates you apart from other investors?
the renovation of condominium units with the lack of housing in the area. And we're in Toronto, the lack of housing. There's many condominium units that are available, they're not selling. However, the ones that are old, used, dilapidated in some way, those can get renovated and brought up to market value. The advantage of renovating a condo unit over, let's say, a house, a dilapidated house, that'll take maybe, a house will take maybe 6 to 8 months, maybe even a year just to renovate it, depending on condition. However, with a condo, you can get something done within 3 months, renovated, like from really bad looking to market value. And that is one interesting strategy that I really enjoy doing. So, and with lack of housing within the area, there's another strategy called the missing middle. Basically, it's infill properties. So let's say you have a bunch of properties and there's spaces between them. You could always fit another property in there to create more of a quantity of inventory for people to buy housing, to have more housing available. So that's just another strategy. There's so many. And also one of my favorites is multifamily. Small multifamily is something that very interesting too, that I like to do.
Another question that I have is, where do you find investors with capital to, do your deals in your projects?
To find investors, well, number one is networking. Networking is a task that one must do just to get out to meet people, right? You can't do everything from your office, your computer. Mind you, there are people that like a warm group of people that are close to you. That'd be your first access to funds. Networking would be the next one, where you go out, talk to people. You have to have integrity, be honest with what you're doing, and show that what you say is what you do. That's all I can say.
What's the largest amount of capital you've raised?
Largest amount? $500,000. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, $500,000. So, and then you use that capital for a particular project, but the one who's the lender, they want to know specifically what they're using it for, what the return is for them. Is it interesting to them? Is it a strategy that they are in line with, that they're comfortable in lending it the funds? So all kinds of aspects that you need to address so that it becomes a successful lend and project. So you do the best you can. That's all I can say. Yeah, get my yellow socks.
What do you like the most about real estate?
The most I like about real estate. Good question. There's many things. Number one would be the relationships that you gain over time, the different people you speak with, the different levels of expertise, the millionaires, billionaires, and the newbies, right? So you got that whole range. It's very, very interesting. Yeah, and the money too, right? The money too is also a big part.
And what do you find is the most challenging thing about doing real estate?
Most challenging is following and trying to stay ahead of what the economy is doing, what the governments are proposing, and that sort of thing. You don't want something to come and inhibit what you're trying to do. So you always have to pivot and keep on top of what's going on, business-wise, political, not just local politically, but globally at the same time. Because anything that happens globally can ultimately affect your business here. No matter, it doesn't have to be real estate. It could be any type of business. So yeah, that's quite challenging.
If you had a magic wand and you could buy any property that you want, what would you get?
Oh, wow. Any property? For myself, personally, I would love to have vacation properties around the world. Someplace warm, maybe one place with snow where I can go skiing, and the rest warm palm trees and ocean. That's it. And have cottages up north. Yeah, that's personally, but for business, and multifamily is very interesting, and it's what I'd like to pursue.
So you can walk around or zoom into space without covering the camera. How are you financing your properties?
Oh, I'm financing with, OPM, other people's money, or my own. So that's it in a nutshell.
So do you create like a trust in order to accept other people's funds? And do you get a security lawyer to write the structures when you accept OPM?
They would be under a corporation. So each property will have its own corporation. And the lenders would be, secured under, legal aspects. So, their lawyer or my lawyer, they get together, write up the document, and we're good to go.
Excellent. Do you use property management companies?
Yes. Yes.
And how can you tell they're good? They're
all you can do is just try them out. You have to go out and speak to people. That's why networking is so important. So find the premier property managers, the ones that work, and especially if you're not in an area that you're too familiar with, you try to get the best information you can, and from that point on, you get referrals, and you work from that point, selecting one, and you try them out for a while. They don't work, they're out, and you get somebody else in. But you try to acquire the best property manager at the time that you need one.
When you're in a table of negotiations and you want to win the, buyer onto your side, do you have some strategies that you use that would help you kind of win that deal?
Yeah, well, basically, you have to create a relationship. The strategy I use, it's not really a strategy, it's just the way I am. You want to be sitting on the opposite side of the table. If there is a table on the opposite side, they could be sitting next to you, but you want to be in their shoes. What are they thinking? What's important to them? The security, money, prestige, whatever the case might be in there, see as much as you can to be in their shoes. And this way, you know which questions to ask. And you allow them to ask you questions. You're interviewing them as much as they are interviewing you. So that's, you just have to get to know them.
And what is your criteria for finding a business partnership or a general partner to work with? Someone
that is not like me, but someone that I can relate to, right? They might have a better expertise in whatever aspect of business they're in. As long, I don't want to be the smartest guy in the room. I want to have other people who are experts that can advise me on what to do. So, and then there's a personal relationship too, where yes, we can work together. It's almost like getting married, right? You got to date them first. Well, not really date, but you're not going to bring them flowers. The point is,
that might work.
It might work, right? But the thing is, you just want to have a great relationship with them and see whether, you're on the same, they have the same mindset, basically.
So would you say you are more on the, your skills is more on underwriting, in analyzing?
Yeah, I'm a big numbers guy.
Okay, so between capital raising, asset management, and acquisition, where would you say your forte is?
My forte would be like searching, to find the property,
so like
or have the acquisition, to find it, and then work on the numbers to make sure that this is the right way to go. And you could fall in love with a beautiful property. It's in the best place. But if you do your analysis, if the numbers don't work, okay, move on to the next.
Very good. What tips would you advise new investors to avoid?
To avoid?
Yeah, what mistakes would you tell them not to
Number
make?
one, don't rush into anything. That's number one. Early on, I would hear of an investment, and I would literally run to the bank and put the check into the account of the person who who has that investment that I want to invest in. Right? That has burned me a few times. So not do that. Take your time. Don't rush. Don't be very free with giving your funds out. Right? You really need to do your due diligence and be sure from every aspect. Mind you, there could be outside forces, like a pandemic or the war or government change that could change the economy. Right? It could change the situation that you're in, but that's outside. But the person that you're dealing with, do your due diligence. Know that project inside and out.
Well, what is the vision and mission of your company called Casabella? Excellent. And looking towards the near future, what's your goal, your next project, your next deal that you really want to attain?
The goal right now is looking into the States. I'm looking into the U.S., specific areas, and invest in multifamily down in the States. And the States is very well oriented toward business. In Canada, you have so many roadblocks, so many restrictions. Whereas you go to the States, you could talk with people, other real estate investors, and they are very tuned for business. I found it very, very, very easy to negotiate or to speak with, get the information. So much information down there, it makes analysis pretty easy. Yeah.
Excellent. And if a property is not cash flowing or doesn't have is not appreciating, what is your what is your exit strategy?
Yeah, you can hold it and let your other properties kind of finance it in the short term, or you find another exit. I mean, you can sell it.
We're talking about what is your exit strategy that you have developed if a property is not doing fine?
Yeah, you need to look at what happened. Why isn't it doing fine anymore? Like I said, you could have your other properties sort of subsidize it to hold on to it. Maybe there's a tenant issue. Maybe the property manager is not doing their job. You could turn it into a short-term rental, for example. You could, turn that space into something else. Rather than residential, you could turn it into someone that can use it for their work, like a studio, something that might help in, creating cash flow. Yeah, it does happen. It just depends on that particular property, where it's located, and what kind of tenants do you want to put in there. So yeah, the word is depends. It really depends.
It's true. What would you want to be remembered by?
That I was a good father, a good husband. I helped a lot of people, and hopefully I'm likable. All right, but nothing extravagant. Just that he was a good guy. A leader is not one that will dictate to his team, whether a country. Dictators, they've been there, we know what they do. What a leader does is leads his team and supports them, right? Support them in every way, right? Whether it be, some kind of help, advice, whatever, but everybody knows what the objective is, and you just support them. Let them do their thing, give them the freedom to do it, because you pick that team because of their expertise and the relationship that you have them. You know them, but you support them. right? You're not leading them, pulling them, and being generous and having gratitude, and just being a very, very giving human being that you can go to the fruition that you want to go to with what your objective is. Big why is to have the financial and time freedom, and that you can do what you want when you want, basically. That and helping people, like helping others. Sure, you can help your family, but you want to do that. Of course, that's the core. But if you could help others doing the right thing, the good things, that's basically it in a nutshell.
How can one be a successful entrepreneur? Like, what are the nuggets of skills or characteristics that makes them successful?
First of all, you can, you just can't watch TV and sit there and watch Oprah all day long and have a bag of potato chips. It doesn't work, right? You need to realize, like, who do you have to be, right, to do what you want to do and to have what you want to have. Be, do, have. So you need to be a certain person. Oh, well, I'm going to be myself and do this and do that. Well, yeah, then you're going to be like the rest of the world, right? To be unique, find like a mentor, somebody that you look up to that is doing good things, and try to emulate that person. Well, how did that person get there? Well, try to find the right mindset, get a coach, get some education. You need somebody to look up to, right? Whether it be a successful person, politician, your uncle, like for example, my father, like your God, for example, perhaps Jesus. There's so many people that you could look up to that can set you on the right path. And that's it. So you have to be that person. You cannot be like everybody else on the street. You gotta move away from whatever the masses, right? Whatever the masses are doing or saying, you gotta go beyond that, right? Because you gotta be unique to yourself and do good things, the right thing, not for you, only for you and your family, but for humanity at the same time.
You mentioned a lot that relationship building is very crucial.
Yes.
Can you describe how someone new or just meeting a new person can build a positive relation, professional positive relation?
Well, yeah. If you're not known to the people that you're meeting, number one, improve your appearance, right? Improve your appearance, and if it's like some networking event, or don't go in there with a t-shirt, shorts, and flip-flops. That right away. First impression is everything. So that I would advise that. Secondly, try not to open up with, "Oh, how are you?" Well, what do you care how I am? No, come up like with other questions. So how's your day been going so far? And then that you could snowball that into other questions. And I do have, you bring that up, I do have a list of opening lines. Me, you might not know this, but I told you I'm an introvert, right? And for me to get into a crowd and speak, it's easier now, but at the beginning, very, very difficult. So one of my mentors had a few opening questions that you could, say. You just go up and say, "Oh, nice day." Well, that could work too. Nice day, it's sunny. But you could also say nice day when it's pouring rain and it's lightning and thunder. But it's still a nice day. That's how you should wake up in the morning. Today's going to be an awesome day, right? And then when you go to bed at night, the last thing you would say to yourself would be, today was a great day. Regardless what happened, it was a great day. So you like bookend it with positivity. But it's just a matter of how you approach people that you're going to be speaking with. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you so much. Delightful interview.
Well, all right. Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it. It's been very nice.
Thank you. May success follow you all the way.
Well, thank you very much, and you too. All right. I wish you all the best success. All right, and if fame is in the cards, you'll be famous.
Yes.